I think that speaks highly of our officer who was willing to turn in his brother.
A Fresno police officer solved a deadly hit and run. The facts of the case led him to his own brother. Officers arrested 22-year-old Cody Sanders for the felony crime. Action News reporter Cynthia Rose picks up the story from here about how Cody's brother pieced it all together. Cynthia?
Well, Warren, at a police briefing Sunday, officers were told about a pedestrian killed while crossing Herndon near St. Agnes. The driver did not stick around, but evidence left behind raised an eyebrow for one Fresno police officer. 33-year-old Kong Yang was standing in the street early Sunday morning, likely walking across the road, when Fresno police say he was struck and killed. No one knew he was dead until hours later when a passerby alerted officers of his body in the bushes. Yang was 600 feet east of Millbrook when he was hit.
We don't know what his alcohol level was, but we do know that he was in the roadway when he was struck and not in a crosswalk, which would generally make the primary collision factor a pedestrian cost. But still, Cody Sanders has a responsibility to stop, and he didn't.
But detectives were led to Sanders in a very unusual way. Hours after the hit and run, officers beginning their shift were told about the crime, including specific details about the wanted car and driver.
So after the briefing, the officer called his brother and asked him if he had been involved in a collision that night before. And his brother said that he was driving home from work. He's a security guard at Club Imperial, and he was driving westbound in the #1 lane, and that he had hit something. He thought it was either a dog or a sign.
The suspect called his girlfriend and said he went back to the area and didn't see anything unusual at the scene, so he left until his brother's conscience prompted him to do the right thing.
And to convince his brother to come down and talk to detectives, which led ultimately to this individual being arrested for hit and run and solving this case.
Investigators aren't sure if the two crossed paths at the nightclub they were both at earlier in the evening, but they are reviewing surveillance video from Club Imperio for any additional insight. And Cody Sanders is facing one count of felony hit and run. The chief said despite the outcome, he and his police officer brother remain on good terms. From the newsroom, Cynthia Rose, ABC 30 Action News.